Well, hello, everybody, and welcome into After the Game with Todd Leary, of course, coming to you live from Yogi's here in Bloomington, brought to you by Andy Moore Honda, French Lick Resort and Casino. And man, oh man, Todd, I thought we were going to sneak one out for the Hoosiers today, but it did not go the way that they needed to. But there's a lot of problems today that we saw that actually shouldn't have been there.
Todd is hot right now. Todd is hot for the way that game was mismanaged at the end of it, and that is 100% on the coaching staff. That is a mismanaged last 45 seconds of the game. You have the second worst free throw shooting team in all of college basketball. They ranked 349th in the nation in free throw shooting, and you don't try to extend that game out after you cut it to 3 with 50 seconds to go. Like, there's no explanation for that. Nothing is going to make sense in the world, because even if you get the stop and get the ball back, you still have to make a 3 just to tie the game. I don't think there's another coach in the entire country that would have played that game out the way they did at the end. That's miserable. That's
Indiana
tough to watch.
Started this game a little unusual. They were hitting from the outside, getting nothing from the paint. I mean, I think the first 8 or 11 points came from outside, not inside. Trace Jackson-Davis never really got it going today. They shut him down today. Indiana does not do a good enough job. They come out in the second half, though, and they sloppy. They have as many turnovers in the first 4 minutes, I think, of the second half that they did the entire first half. I don't understand how you come out of a half and just play sloppy.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it because there could be a lot of factors that go into it. But, I'll go back to this. So they're down, I think 5 or 6 points at halftime or whatever it ended up being. And they only had 3 turnovers. And we've continually heard the coaching staff talk about the problem with this team is the turnovers. The problem with the offense is the turnovers. Well, they only had 3 in the first half, and they were still down. So it's not just the turnovers. It's a lot more important than just turnovers that are going on right now. And against Iowa, like I'll say this, I haven't, until I go back and have a chance to study the game film and count how many times Indiana got within the last 10 seconds of the shot clock, then you're not going to know the big difference between this and the Iowa game. But I can tell you, I commented after the Iowa game about how Indiana took the first available open shot that they had and how much better the offense looked. And in today's game, Anthony Leal passed him up repeatedly. Finney passed him up repeatedly. They just would not shoot the open shot when they got it, and they got down to the end of the shot clock. How many times do we have to throw shots up at the end of the shot clock to realize we're not good at it? That's not the way to go. And this is a horrible, horrible loss. That Iowa game you really thought was going to be the jumpstart. Like, you can look at this team right now and you can say, I'm not going to just, because they're kids, I'm not just going to sit back and give them a free pass on this. You can't lose at home to Rutgers. Rutgers has lost 5 in a row. You know what Indiana is right now? And find somebody to prove me wrong on this. Indiana is everybody's get-right game. Indiana is their get-right game. And it used to be the opposite.
I was going to say that exactly. Rutgers had been on such a skid, and Indiana is just what they needed. They came in today. Rutgers had a very balanced attack. Early on, I think the first 24 points was 12 from the perimeter, 12 from the inside. Ron Harper Jr. did a great job in there, and he's not that big to do the job that he does in there. But, man, he got it done. But they were definitely not afraid to shoot the ball. There was a time that I think Anthony Leal came out of the game and someone mentioned they saw Archie scream at him, shoot the ball. Is it a lack of? It's not a lack of confidence in themselves, I wouldn't think, but is it just a lack of confidence overall in playing? I don't know what. It's hard to explain.
They look uncomfortable. Lack of confidence. I would agree with that. I think they're afraid to make mistakes, which that's not on the coaching staff. That's kind of more on them. You've got to make plays. You've got to put yourself out there, put yourself at risk, and make plays. And Anthony Leal's a shooter. Okay, Anthony Leal's not on the court. I will say this because I don't want it to come across a different way. I think Anthony Leal played pretty good defense tonight. I don't think that his defense is a big enough liability to keep him off the court. But what he is on the court for is to shoot the basketball and make shots. And if you're not going to do that, they can't play you. Like, it's just that simple. And he played enough minutes in this game that he should have easily got 4 or 5 3-pointers up. There's no two ways about it. Christian Lander thought this is his breakout game. This is the game that's going to give him the confidence. If he doesn't play a ton of minutes in the next game, I will be surprised. It'll be a mistake, in my opinion. I think not playing Jordan Geronimo in the first half tonight, huge mistake from the coaching staff. Huge mistake. You're not playing against a team with a bunch of 7-footers on there. Here's what I don't understand. Ron Harper Jr., who you just talked about, plays bigger than what he is or whatever, is built exactly like Jordan Geronimo. Exactly.
Bigger, just a little bit bigger.
Like 10 pounds. Not a lot bigger. He's 10 pounds bigger.
He's certainly not Luka Garza, who he guarded the other night.
That's because he's 2 years older than Jordan Geronimo. But it's not a crazy mismatch. He's not significantly stronger than Jordan Geronimo. Geronimo's strong.
He was on Luka Garza the other night, half the night. So
I don't understand it. Like, it pisses me off. I don't understand the rotations. There is no explanation. I said it in the Iowa game. Jordan Geronimo played his way onto the floor, and he should have been on the court tonight. Like that. I know they're going to say he was on the court. He got in the second half. That's not good enough. That's not good enough out of this team.
When Christian Lander, how big was him? He hits the 3-point early on, and he gets to stay in. He got the most minutes he's gotten all year. He hits another one. He's confident. Yep. He tried to drive to the basket once too, because he had the confidence to do that. He was allowed to stay on the floor. Why? It's unbelievable.
But here's with Lander, he came out at the right time. Look. He's not played more than 6 minutes in any Big Ten game so far this year, and he had played like 7 minutes in a row at that point. He was tired. Like, I don't care what kind of shape you're in. Like, he was tired at that point. But he should have gone out for a minute and a half, and come right back in. Like, I don't know. Like, I am very frustrated. I'm probably saying things I shouldn't right now because I'm frustrated with the way the game was handled at the end, and that is 100% a coaching decision. That's not a player's decision. That's a coaching decision. And I'm really frustrated with the way that was handled. Now, look, they got themselves down by too many, they shouldn't have been in that position, okay? But once they were in that position, that game was mismanaged at the end. And I am really having a tough time getting myself past it to look at the positives right now. And that's why everything out of my mouth is negative, because I feel horrible after this loss. This is a bad, bad loss.
We need to get Todd a shot. Hey, we're coming to after the game with Todd Leary, of course, coming to you live from Yogi's here in Bloomington. Brought to you by Andy Moore Honda and French Lake Resort Casino. If you're out and about, make sure you can stop by here at Yogi's. We're here right now, as a matter of fact. But man, oh man, the Iowa game, I didn't get excited at all because I said then, you're not going to see a team go 11 minutes very often and just not score. And that was just one of those deals. So I was not. What I was hopeful for, that they could use the confidence and come out and just play more of their game. And again, they come out in this game, which it was more of a perimeter attack, maybe just because the shots were falling, but they never had anything established on the interior. And there's no balance to the offense that way.
Yeah, I said it after the Iowa game, in that I was still going to be excited with the way, even with the loss, I was totally prepared for the after the game show to talk about all the positives you can take out of a loss. The win at Iowa was a bonus part of it, and them going on that scoring drought, give the defense credit. But the win part of it was great. What I wanted to see was that same type of offense carried over into today. And I can tell you, I cannot be more disappointed with the way the offense was run today. Forget the outside shots versus inside shots or whatever it is. I need early shots. I need early shots in the shot clock. I would love to see the stat. Like, I know a lot of different guys, Chronocuser and a lot of different guys do stuff after the game, and they go in and look at, what Indiana's scoring percentages are when they run this or do that. I'd like to see what Indiana's scoring percentage is when the point guard literally walks the ball across half court. Because there was Christian Lander did it. Rob Finney's ridiculous about how he does it, and I'm assuming it's what the coaches want to happen. But when these guys are walking at a snail's pace across half court, how's our offense supposed to have any momentum? Like, I don't understand that at all. You ever walk the ball? Coach Knight was not considered a fast-paced offensive team, but if you ever walked the ball up the court like that, it would have been once, and that would have been it. Like, your whole offense is going at that pace when your guard is snailing the ball up the court, and that's brutal. Like, this offense today was as bad as any offensive game we've had all season long. From a standpoint of what I thought they were trying to accomplish. Like, we're back to square one again, and that's coming off of our best win under the Archie Miller era. They're right back to square one, and I'm as disheartened by what I saw today. And I don't think the players didn't try to play hard. I don't think that they're bad kids for sure. I think they're all trying. I'm not sure we're all on the same path. I'm not sure everybody's understanding what that path is.
Well, that's the thing. Offensively, the roles. I know that maybe people know their role as far as a guard or a big man, but there doesn't seem to be roles and cohesiveness in what they're trying to. When you ran the motion offense, we knew what was going on. You can see cuts, screens, this, that. I don't know what's going on. Guys stand around, they move, then they just move the ball around the horn and then pass it right back. And there's no movement other than that. It's like I'm clueless as to what's going on.
Well, you are. I think a lot of us are, and I think some of the teams are too. So I mean, that's what's kind of weird. But you know, there was multiple times tonight when Trace Jackson Davis caught the ball kind of at that elbow / top of the key-ish area, with an opportunity to get his left-hand drive, go down, and either force a foul. We'll take that shot any day of the week. And he couldn't do it because there's an offensive guy whose man is standing right there in his way to be his defensive guy standing right there in the way for Trace Jackson Davis to be able to drive. And in a typical situation, Trace should take one dribble, make that guy commit to him, and kick it out for an open three-pointer. Except for our guys aren't ready to shoot that three-pointer when it happens. So it just stalls the entire offense. And then we start over again, and we start with another dribble handoff or ball screen, and this offense is bad. Like I love Indiana University. I graduated from there. I'll always be an Indiana fan. This team is not fun to watch. Like I can tell you there's 20 other teams I would rather watch play on an afternoon than this Indiana basketball team.
They've got it. Last time they had the Michigan State game got canceled, and you would prefer that they'd play. They need to play through. And then actually, when they got to play Iowa, it seemed like that practice actually helped them. Are they actually better off with what you've seen today, having these 12 days? Because they're off for 12 days now. The Michigan game is canceled.
Yeah.
They don't play again until a week from Tuesday.
Yeah, this is a horrible timing. Everything about this is bad for Indiana. The Michigan game getting canceled next Saturday, that really stinks from a standpoint of losing this game. And I'll just tell you, like, a lot of times you'll bring up the fact of, hey, you know, certain games and certain situations, work out in a good way. And, you feel good about the timing of where they are. Everything about this is bad. Like the timing of this loss. If you could have had those 12 days off, coming off of the super confidence from the Iowa game and then coming home and beating – Rutgers has lost 5 in a row, but they're still a pretty good team. So I'm not saying this is a loss like losing to Nebraska. But playing on when you go down through the list, like I did with you a couple of games ago, and you try to figure out how many games this team's going to win for the rest of the season, you definitely didn't have the Iowa game on the road as one of those they were going to win, but you definitely had this Rutgers game at home as one they had to win. And so now you're evened out. You're right back in that same spot. This team doesn't win 4 games for the rest of the season. Not a chance. 0 chance.
Rutgers finished the game 1 of their last 7 today, as a matter of fact. But if I told you that Indiana would shoot 10 of 16, 63% behind the three-point line, and 12 of 17 from the free throw line, and shoot 43% of the field overall, is there any way that they lose that game?
You would definitely not think so. Especially when you look at you would have to say they're playing Michigan or Iowa to lose that game.
And they lost that game to Rutgers.
Well, so then you go back and look at it. So let's analyze what is the problem with this team. You just gave up 74 points to a team that is really struggling to score. I mean, I think defense was probably the glaring issue tonight. I mean, they couldn't stop this team, and this is a team that has really struggled to score. And really, you know what? It's kind of interesting that it happened the other way, but Rutgers was the team tonight that juggled their lineup. They started 2 guys today that haven't started all year long. And that's to kind of get the fire going and get these guys to understand they've got to do some other things in order to get time on the floor. And it worked. And so, I don't know. I don't even know what my point with that is, other than I'm embarrassed for us as Indiana that we're teams get right game. Like that's not a position I ever thought Indiana basketball would be in.
They gave up, we talk about Indiana shooting well, but they gave up 51% shooting from the field themselves. And more importantly, 12 turnovers in the game, but 9 of them in the second half. Hell, half of those were probably in the first 4 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, 12 turnovers in a game and 9.5. Yeah, 9.5 is. I'll say 1 or 2 of those are in the last 3 minutes when maybe some of that stuff wouldn't be happening. But I'm not that alarmed by the turnovers. The turnovers are not beating us. Like, coaches may look me in the eye, and all 340 of them across the country may say I'm crazy for saying that, but turnovers are not beating us. Our bad offense is beating us. Today, our bad defense beat us. Like, there's just a lot of other things that are going on. The turnovers, yeah, it's too many, sure. I mean, you could say that. It's too many. That's not what beat us.
Rebounding been a problem all year. And again, I talked about Ron Harper Jr. He's listed at 6'6". I think he's like a Charles Barkley.
He's like a Barkley. He's like 6'4" probably, but he plays 6'9", right.
But he works. He gets a lot done for 6'4" guy down there. A lot.
Yeah. No, he's a good player. He's a really, really good player. I mean, this is not like he bullied Indiana because Indiana's bad. Like, he's a good player, and he does that to a lot of different teams. But, you know, when you look at this tonight, Jim, like, try to think about this. I try to think about what the players – like, what's going through the players' minds after the game right now. So think about this. If you're Jerome Hunter right now after that game, what's going through your mind? Are you wondering why you didn't play more? I'm wondering why he didn't play more. He comes in and knocks down a couple threes, misses one, and I know he did end up coming back into the game, but for whatever reason, this team has no cohesiveness. You used that term a few minutes ago. This team, I don't think, knows what their identity is. Do you know? How would you describe this team?
We've been talking about that for weeks. We have no clue. What is it? And it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Even a bad one. Usually teams will have a bad identity. It's bad, but at least they have one. None. I don't have no clue here. Zero. Yeah. I mean, it is.
We see Kevin with a question on here. Why did Jordan Geronimo basically get no playing time? You know, like, I can't answer that. I don't have a good answer for that. A lot of times I think that I can get into the mind of where the coaching staffs are and what generally happens at certain times of the year and all that. I have no answer for that because it's not like anyone in front of him is playing that great. Okay, so here's what I will say with that. So what lineup would you like to see on the floor right now? I mean, if you'll go back to Kevin with that, what lineup would you like to see on that? I'll tell you the one I'd like to see is I'd like to see Christian Lander, Anthony Leal, Jordan Geronimo, Race and Trace.
I think a lot of people would like to see that.
I mean, I would like to see how that lineup plays out. If they get plenty of minutes on, it can't be worse. It can't be worse.
You're losing the teams you shouldn't lose to, so at least you can get some development out of that, something positive, because that's not happening right now. Trace Jackson-Davis, you talk about him today.
He had an off game. He had an off game.
Well, I think it was really glaring of what's missing from his game. Not really developing that elbow jumper where he can step out and do that when he needs to, when the inside, when it's not working in the middle. Like today, it wasn't. Be able to step out and knock some of those down. He just hasn't developed that shot yet, and I think it's going to be critical for him.
It would have helped him tonight. There's no question about it. It would have helped him. But our offensive scheme could have helped him out also. Getting him into a position where he can drive the ball against the 6'11" long arm guy. I mean, you want to be able to get that guy on the move. You don't want to have to make a move backing him down and going up over the top of him. He's 6'11", but he's got probably, a 7'7" wingspan. I mean, he's got crazy long arms. So you want to get that guy moving a little bit. And that's what I said earlier. Trace caught the ball several times trying to make that one dribble go into his left, but there's a defender right there waiting on him that's somebody else's man. And you got to clear that guy out of the way. You got to get him out there. Or if you're not going to do that, you got to have Anthony Leal standing in the corner right there where I make one dribble and that guy commits to me and I kick it to him and he has to shoot it. Like, that's it. Basketball's hard. It's a hard game because guys are good and fast and athletic, but it's also a very easy, simple game. And offense is so easy and simple, and that's why Indiana was so good at it for years, because we all understood how simple it was, and all you had to do was make two people guard you, and somebody's going to be open for a shot. Now they're not going to be wide open where they get to shoot it and it's a layup line jump shot, but they're going to be open enough to get a shot off, and they should be open enough to knock it down. And in basketball on the offensive end is very simple when you make it simple, but it can be really hard if you make it hard on yourself. And Indiana makes it harder on themselves than any other team in the country, without question.
I put that one up there just because I know it's one of your favorites. Popped up there. We talked about it earlier. There wasn't a lot of people on yet, but just clock management, man.
This game.
Yeah. But see, that's something that we've talked about, and there's no sense of pretending anymore. We talked about the lack of development. We talked about lack of improvement. The Indiana has finished 6th, 8th, 10th, and probably 11th or 12th in the Big Ten this year. It's there.
Let me tell you this. I can assure you that the coaching staff from Rutgers saw that we were not going to foul in the last 50 seconds of that game and probably laughed under their breath. They probably chuckled and were like, are you kidding me? They're going to let us dribble this thing out? Because there is no explanation in the world. That is a wrong decision. If Archie Miller sits on that press conference afterwards and says, we made the decision to try to get one stop and try to make a three and tie it up, then I'm telling you, it's the wrong decision. You can say he better go in there and say we made a mistake, and it'll never happen again, because that was a 100% mistake. There is no way you can say that's the second to worst free throw shooting team, not in the Big Ten, in all of college basketball. They rank 349th out of 339th out of 340 NCAA basketball teams in free throw shooting. How do you not try to extend that game? Because this is what you can do at that point, Jim. You foul them immediately. I don't care which guy you foul. Pick any of them. If they make both of them, you come down and you try to get a quick two-pointer again, and you make them make another two. They shoot 57%. If I put them on the line 5 times in the last 50 seconds, I'm pretty sure they're going to miss a couple of them, and they're going to give you an opportunity to get back in the game. But the choice that we made was to try to get one defensive stop and then come down and make a three-pointer with 15 seconds to go on the clock to just tie the game up. Like, no way in the world a coach is going to explain that to me. I honestly believe that the 339 other schools in NCAA basketball would have chosen the other decision of what we chose here tonight. And that to me tells me it's wrong.
The problem is now you've got 10 games left this season, and they're not just 10 games. They're 10 games against 10 of the toughest games that you're going to have. I mean, even if there was there's no break in it.
This team's going to finish 11-16 on the season. What do we do at that point? Like, where are we at that point? Trace Jackson Davis is going to go pro. The reason why he's going to go pro is not because he thinks he's going to get drafted in the top 5, because it's miserable playing with this team right now. Like that. That's why I would go pro if I were him.
Well, he's not getting any better.
Luka Garza chose to come back to play at Iowa. Why?
Because they want to win a championship.
Because they think they have a chance to win a Big Ten championship and a national championship. Does Trace Jackson Davis have that same option?
He didn't have a chance to win at Assembly Hall.
I get it. I'm saying if I were Trace, my 2 options would be go to the NBA or transfer to Iowa. That's the 2 options I would have. They give you a free pass to transfer anywhere right now.
You've got 10 games left, though, like I said, and these are 10 games against Michigan, against top-tier teams. You got to play Purdue
11-16.
It's what in the world are they going to do? How do you go forward confidence-wise? What is Archie going to do? I mean, I wish I could be in the post-game presser instead of here right now, but I'd love to hear what he's saying now, because it's been a lot of the same old rigmarole for a long time.
You know what an educated guess would say what they're going to do? They're going to start the next game with the exact same lineup they started with tonight. They're going to play the same exact rotations they played with tonight. They're going to run the same offense they ran tonight, and they're going to play the same defense they ran tonight. And I'm not saying that to like pick on anybody. I'm saying that's an educated guess, because that's what happens after every big loss that we have. After every game that we have, I don't ever see him shake anything up. Ever.
Well, we haven't seen that in 4 years. When we begged for a lineup, when we begged for a guy to get benched, like, that he could use some bench. It doesn't happen, and I don't understand that. We've talked about the freshmen. You love to see the freshmen out there, run all 3 of those guys out there, let them play. It's the fear. What I don't understand what the fear is when you're not winning as it is. What the hell do you have to lose?
I mean, I wish I had a great rebuttal for what you're saying. I wish I had a way to say what you're saying is wrong, because it sucks to be in that position. But I mean, Jim, I don't know what's that. There's going to be a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of people who say, you can't get that down on these guys because they're kids and all these other things. And that's just simply not true. The only difference between now and 30 years ago is we're on social media today doing this, as opposed to us just calling up our buddies bitching about how bad the team is or what's going on. This is look, I'm not forced by anybody to be an IU fan. I choose to be an IU fan. I love IU. I love it because I went there. I love it because I loved it before I went there. I have been an IU fan since I was born, since I was a child. And I am telling you, I also get to choose what I enjoy watching. And if we didn't do this show, Jim, I'm telling you straight up, if we did not do this show at halftime, there isn't a chance in the world I would have watched the second half of that game. I would have watched the NFL today leading up to what's coming up later on today, because this is awful. This team is so miserable to watch play. And I could sit here and go over, we're 26 minutes into this show. I could talk for 6 hours about how miserable we are to watch. And it would probably take me 5 minutes to talk about what we're good at and what's fun to watch out of our team. Our team has a bunch of good guys on it. Everybody likes each other. They all are. Our positive touches with each other are great. I see the support. I think it's there. I think what's going to happen at the end of the season is we're going to see how miserable these guys are, because you're going to see a mass exodus from this program. That's totally just my guess. But would you stay and be a part of this misery?
It'd certainly be the same. What do they do now for the next 12 days? Waiting for this next game, obviously practice. But what I'm saying is, what can they accomplish?
You put in a new offense. You want my honest opinion? You put in a new offense.
How about put in a offense?
Put in a new offense.
I don't know that they really have one.
Well, Seth Davis even said Indiana runs an offense. I'm just not sure they run an offense to score. They know what they're doing. They call play number 6 or whatever it is. They know where they're supposed to go and what they're supposed to do. But play number 6 doesn't work. They need new play number 6s, because the stuff that they're running is not working. Okay, getting to the end of the shot clock is not working. We're not that good a team. We don't have a bunch of guys who can go get their own shot. We've got to start taking better shots early in the shot clock, and trying to, if nothing else, we got to try to become the leading offensive rebounding team in the country. We got to try to shoot it early and outscore everybody. Our defense is not great. I mean, what do we work on for 12 days? Our defense. You just became the get right game for a team that can't score.
Can't get right. Indiana now moves forward a 12-day break. They got to think about this. What positive did you see from today? The freshman, we saw some positive from Christian Lander. What positives can we take out of this game to move forward? Anything?
Christian Lander, Jordan Geronimo played good when he was in there a little bit. Now here's what the coaching staff would probably say. Here's what I would say if I was the coaching staff. Is that Todd, I could sit you down and I could show you why I can't play Jordan Geronimo more than I do. I can show you why I can't play Christian Lander more than what I do or whatever. And those answers are probably almost all going to be defensive. Okay? Well, I'm telling you right now, we have heard from this coaching staff that Rob Phinisee, and this is not an indictment against Rob Phinisee, okay? But they have said Rob Phinisee is one of the best lockdown one-on-one defenders in the Big Ten, okay? Best point guard defenders in the Big Ten, okay? Well, that's not working. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing him lock people down to the point where their offense is not being able to be run because Rob Phinisee disrupts everything. I don't see it. Is he leading the Big Ten in steals? He may be. I literally have no idea. Is he leading the Big Ten in steals? I have no clue. I don't know either. But tell me a reason why we couldn't. Like the thing that's up there, Jason sends in. I would like to see this starting lineup. There's probably 30 different starting lineups that all the Indiana fans would throw on there as what they want to see throughout the rest of the season. And I'm telling you right now, no matter what those lineups are, I'd like to see the coaching staff defend why they don't make changes. Yeah, you got to take the one where Archie Miller sucks off of there. we can't say that he sucks. Archie Miller doesn't suck. I don't like the makeup of what we're doing with this team right now. Like I don't think Archie Miller sucks. I don't like how this team is being run and managed right now. And the last 45 seconds or 50 seconds of the game, that's just a wrong decision. That's a bad wrong decision.
I will say he's not getting it done.
He's not getting it done. There's somebody explain to me how you could.
And there is not only is he not getting it done, and there is zero, and I mean zero, to show you that he's capable of getting it done or that it's heading in that direction.
That it's heading in that direction. I don't know that I would say. I don't know if I would agree with the capable, but I definitely believe it's not moving in that direction. It is not trending towards we have something to look forward to. Like Jim, look at this. This team's going to finish 11-16, maybe 12-15. Okay, either one of those are ridiculous.
Without the NCAA tournament, you're going to the tournament in the state of Indiana, not playing it.
You're not going to be a part of it. I mean, like I when you look at this scenario, but take this season. Okay, I'm a terrible Indiana fan for saying this, but I'm writing this season off. Like, from now on, the rest of the season, I just want to see guys improve and get better. I want to see player development because they have zero chance of making the NCAA tournament. And so my real negative is going to be, okay, well, what's going to happen in the offseason? Okay, what's going to happen if Trace goes pro? Okay, what's going to happen with this free-for-all of transfer anywhere you want to go? Because I can tell you, people, I've heard the comment. People have said back to me before, who's going to take these guys? Are you kidding me? Who's going to take Race Thompson? Who's going to take five-star Christian Lander? Who's going to take Anthony Leal? Who's going to take these guys? Probably 330 other NCAA Division I teams. Yep. These guys could all go somewhere. Believe me. These guys could all go somewhere if they want to. And I'm scared to see what's going to happen.
Well, let's hope they don't for certain. But I cannot thank everybody enough for joining us here. Of course, coming to you from Yogi's after the game with Todd Leary, as always. Andy Moore Honda and French Lake Resort Casino. Make sure you get out there and check those guys out. But man, we're 12 days. We may have to come back and do a show next week or something. That's a long time to be off for them, for us.
Did you just try to figure out a way to do a show where I calm down a little bit?
Yes.
Maybe we need like a 1 hour.
See, if we had a show they don't play, then you won't be upset because there won't be any bad play to be upset about.
True.
They won't lose either. So
True.
There's that. But thanks a lot, of course, to Todd Leary, of course, after the game with Todd Leary. And thanks to you guys. Hope you guys go out and have a great rest of your day and try to enjoy the football playoffs. Maybe your team will win there. But we appreciate you guys, everybody from Finney Hospitality Group as well. Chris Martin, Nathan Finney, Kelly, everybody there at Yogi's as well. But Todd Leary, I'm Jim Coyle. Until tomorrow, wear your mask, do something nice for somebody, and I'll see you on the radio.